Good evening, I'm Jocelyn Lassiter. You're watching the ntTV Online Report. Earlier today, there was a traffic accident in Dallas on I-35. The incident occurred around 5 this morning and was initially reported as a stalled vehicle. When police arrived on the scene, they realized it was a car struck by a truck. 2 women were announced dead at the scene and one was transported to the hospital where she later died. There are still others at the hospital, and as of now, there is no news on whether or not charges will be filed. This is still a developing story. Joe Biden announced his Vice President Selection Committee co-chairs. The committee consists of a former senator, a congresswoman, a mayor, and his former White House and Senate counsel. The group will be leading the search for his running mate, who Biden has promised to be a woman. The committee will begin the vetting process in order to choose the best candidate for Biden. Biden understands the importance of choosing the right VP and is taking advice from former President Obama. Due to the coronavirus, the American economy is taking hits on every end.
We're going to see economic data for the second quarter that's worse than any data we've seen for the economy. And they're a direct consequence of the disease and the measures that we're taking to protect ourselves from it.
Just last week, there was an additional 3.8 million people who filed for unemployment. This brings the total number to over 30 million over the past 6 weeks when the virus first started taking a toll on the economy. The economy is one of the biggest factors in how a president is doing, and how the Trump administration handles this will greatly impact his presidential campaign. In an effort to restart the routine, many states are reopening in the coming weeks. Texas is beginning phase 1 this weekend, but this plan is receiving a lot of criticism. Mark Cuban is one of the latest to speak out and recently criticized Texas allowing 25% occupancy in many retail and non-essential businesses. Cuban believes that it would be more costly to make this work than to wait and really hurt small businesses, but wants to expand the retail to go.
We've had good success with restaurants offering pickup and delivery. Why not extend that to every single business in the country? It's worked well so far. That's a way to get open, because using the word open is kind of a misnomer. You're not going to be fully open. You're not going to be like it was 6 months ago. And so let's adapt as opposed to just rushing to things.
Despite his personal beliefs on the president, Cuban recently joined Trump's advisory team and is working to reopen the country, but is still aware of the risks that the virus has. Part of the reason 25% occupancy is costly for businesses is many are having issues hiring their employees back.
But as some states reopen, businesses are starting to rehire.
Once the $600 federal money started arriving, we just noticed that it was almost impossible to get people to come back to work.
The federal stimulus gives unemployed workers an extra $600 a week through July. Unemployment now pays equal to or more than average weekly wages in 38 states, including Oregon, where Huffman owns restaurants.
Our employees are confronted with a decision, which is, do I want to go back into work in an environment that I'm not exactly positive is safe because there's no testing available, and make less money? So the obvious answer is no way. Why would you do that? I wouldn't do that if I was them.
This new problem of employment paying better than most jobs raises awareness of the minimum wage issue, as many have been trying to increase the amount for months. Multiple industries have taken hits from the reactions to the coronavirus. With business closing down and people staying home, the energy industry is seeing some of its lowest records since World War II. According to the IEA, demand for all fossil fuels have declined and CO2 emissions are expected to drop due to this. In the US, there was a 9% decrease and an 11% decrease in the European Union. There are multiple companies racing to find a vaccine for this novel virus. At Texas A&M, a professor is finding results that the old vaccine for tuberculosis helps treat the virus, but is only meant as a gap.
This allows us to buy time until something can be developed.
Whereas studies in Oxford have started clinical trials for a vaccine to specifically treat the virus.
What we're hoping with a vaccine is that we can make much better immune responses so that we get longer term protection. We've got a little bit of evidence that that might be the case from work on very similar vaccines to this one, where we've been able to see protection, or at least antibody levels that last for prolonged periods of time. But really, we won't know for this vaccine until we've done the testing. We are in a race, but we're in a race against a pandemic virus. We're not in a race against other vaccine developers. We need not one vaccine to be successful. We need lots of vaccines to be successful.
One of the fun ways people are supporting each other during this tough time is through parades. Birthday parades or support parades have become the new trend to show friends and family you're caring. Many of these parades include people decorating their cars or making posters, then driving by the person's house to follow social distancing. Even without the virus, many are hoping this is a trend that doesn't stop as the nation returns to normal. Thank you for watching ntTV Online Report. Join us again on tomorrow at 5.